Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we are there. We are there. Okay, top chat.
That's not what I wanted. What do we get on?
There we are. Okay. The only thing now is we can't tell how many people we've got.
Oh,
What?
no, I know, I guess not.
Can you? No.
No, I can't see.
Actually, I think I need to turn this a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have 4 people. Hello, people. We're just adjusting because there's a slight technical
Okay, that should be good.
problem.
We probably look farther away now.
Yeah, I think we do. You can move your chair over a little bit. Well, are you in the shot here? Yeah, you're in the shot. Okay, hi Maria. How are you? Okay, so you will notice that we are now on the proper perspective where we usually are. But the problem is we've had to take the iPad that usually is facing us and we can see ourselves and we can see how many people are on at the same time, but now we can't. So what we've got, we had to turn the whole iPad so we would use the camera, the usual camera, instead of flipping it around, because for some reason YouTube has done something and they've decided in their infinite wisdom that, well, they probably haven't checked it out yet, that they've screwed up the way that this used to work. So now what we're doing is I'm looking at myself on our big screen with the volume turned down, and so there's a big delay there. Probably it's the same delay as what you're getting. I'm looking at my iPhone so I can see your comments. And Walter's got his iPad.
Except that when I look down, I'm looking down, and so.
What do you mean when you're looking down?
Before, when I used to be able to see it on the iPad,
yeah, I know.
I could look right at it.
That's why I put that one up there. So, yeah, this is not the most ideal setup, but I guess we have to get used to it. It's either that or everybody has to get used to looking at everything in reverse. So we'll try this today and see how it is. And I'm assuming everybody can hear us. Can somebody, hi, Ilona. Can you guys hear us okay? Let us know, because I just want to make sure everything is hooked up properly before we get right into this. It's kind of weird watching us in delayed time when I look over that way. Ilona says yes, she can hear us, so good. Okay, so I'm not even sure how many people we've got here because we can't tell. Oh God, we got to think of another type of technology unless they fix this problem. How about? We are drinking. What are we drinking?
Well, it's sort of a variation of mojito. I put frozen strawberries in it instead. And instead of just lime juice, it's got lemon and lime in it.
No, I like this better than last week.
Okay.
And we're eating that ghetto cheese dip. You know, the one that I make from Cheese Whiz and ketchup and horseradish and garlic powder and onion powder and
I have to learn to look at the camera.
mayonnaise. What's that?
I have to learn to look at the
Oh,
camera.
yeah, I guess we
got
do.
Too many, like if you're looking over there, you're looking.
Yeah, I know. This is weird. This is weird. Okay, so we have to remember to look at the camera. Before we could because we see ourselves. Why do they have to fool around with the technology? I think what they've done, I've noticed when I went on my computer and I go into the streaming, they have a new setting called camera. And it used to be if you want to stream from your computer, you had to have a third-party program that tied into it, and I never did figure that one out. But now it just does it, it'll do it automatically. But I think since they've put that in place, it's screwed up this other business or something with, because they're going between different technologies. I mean, YouTube is Google, and iPads are iOS, are Mac, and the two don't always like to talk to each other nicely. So I don't know what's happening. Hi, excuse me. Hi, Andrea. Brenda says, hi, Walter and Stephen. Hope you're having a good day. Hello to all. Okay. And Elon says, yep, just to make life harder. Yep, that's for sure. So forgive us if we look like we're looking somewhere else, like over here, because it's going to take some time to get used to staring at basically the back of my iPad. Okay. So anyways, what have we been up to? What's been happening? Well, I finished that quilt, and I put pictures of it on Facebook. Tomorrow in my vlog, I will show it to you in detail. It's a big quilt, but I'm very proud of it. It turned out pretty good. I did have some problems with it. There's a few flaws in it, but my flaws are getting less and less. And I'm not going to point them out because why bother? But I'll show that on my vlog tomorrow. Brenda's asking, what are we eating and drinking? Well, these are strawberry mojitos. This is cheese dip. These are what are they called? They're over there on the counter. Crispy
Ritz crackers.
Crispy Ritz crackers.
No, they're not like Ritz crackers. They're, I forget what they're called.
Mm. Yeah. Bring the bag over.
It's called Crisp and Things by Ritz.
Actually, you know what would be better? If we took your iPad and put it over here.
Yeah, I know, but I was thinking of that, but I thought maybe it would be in the way.
Well, let's see. Just bear with us for a moment, people. We're playing with the technology.
Yeah, actually, that's okay.
And that'll be just like what we used to look at.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're on everything in here. All right, that's a little better. Now we're
eating jalapeno and cheddar popcorn.
There you go. I'm gonna
There's
turn
a
off.
delay when we're doing that.
I'm gonna turn this one off up here though because it's
My battery might die though.
what on yours?
Yeah.
Well, I've got it on my
I've got
phone.
the spare battery over there.
Okay. Oh God, 20th first world problems.
I forgot to charge it.
Just give me a second here. I'll just turn this off. Sleep. Okay, that one you don't have to look at it. All right. Okay, I think we're up to date here. So, hi Kathy. Hi Anita. And Eileen. You're new, and I'm not even going to try to say your last name. Well, maybe I will. Mikolani Linus. Oh, I can't do it. I'm sorry. So where are you from, Eileen? And let's see. Julie's here. Hi, Julie. So, okay. So I told you about the quilt. Moving on. That'll be on my vlog tomorrow. And guess what I'm making in my sewing class? I'm making clown pants. I feel like you're sitting like.
No, I'm okay.
Well, you can move over a bit. It's like you're sitting.
Yeah, well, if I get any closer, I have to dishwashers in my way.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay, I have to move over.
All right, I'm just moving over a hair. Geez, today we're just like.
Oh, okay.
All right. Are we settled? We're settled. Clown pants. Yeah, well, it's my serger class. And we've learned some basics about serging and all this stuff. So now our first project was we had to go out and get a pattern. And she suggested what patterns to get, like numbers for them. And we're making pajama pants. I have never worn a pair of pajama pants in my life. And I call them clown pants because that's what they look like. Actually, that's what I was going to do before that class.
Yeah, and you got striped stuff, and they cut the fabric wrong so that you got...
Yeah, they cut my fabric. I got striped stuff that looks like a pinstripe, and it's sort of a denim-y like material. It's not actually denim. But I thought, well, just on the off chance I decide to wear them, I can't see myself wearing them, but anywhere. So I got the amount of material. I got it right from the store that I get take the class at, and didn't think about it. When she cut it, I can't fit the pattern pieces on it, so I get it vertically. The stripes are going to go horizontal. You know, the first rule about stripes, if you're a little heavier, you never wear horizontal stripes.
Well, you'll never wear those things anyway.
Well,
so.
I'm not heavier. But,
You can't even use them for clown pants because they look too formal.
yeah, I know. So put it down to this. I'll learn a technique. I'll learn how to put an elastic waistband in it. And it's the first time I've ever cut a pattern. And actually, I think I cut it right. I actually didn't really mind cutting a pattern, but I'm not going to be a garment maker. I'm a quilter. Yeah, Anita says, no horizontal stripes. Exactly. First rule. But anyways, we'll see. I'll learn some stuff, and that's really what it's all about. It's not so much about making the pants because you want something to wear. It's making the pants so you learn some techniques. So that's what I'm going to do. So you'll see them. I'll show them to you. Don't expect me to model them. You can model them.
Yeah, right. I can use them cut long.
Right. So I took another class this week, later in the week, yesterday actually, finally on machine quilting. It's only 2 of us in the class, so we get a lot of individual attention. We did walking foot. This course consists of only 2 classes, 2 sessions. So this week just passed, we did walking foot. And I've already done walking foot. That's how I've quilted my other quilts. I was doing walking foot. But I learned some tips and tricks in that class, and next week we're going to learn how to do full motion or free motion quilting. You know, that one, I want to learn that, but I have a feeling it's not going to be easy. So we'll see how that goes. Plus, I'm taking another sewing class. I have 3 sewing classes in this next week coming up. One on Tuesday night, one on Friday night. The one on Friday night is called BQ Boot Camp. It's basic quilting boot camp, and we're doing some traditional blocks, and we'll learn some different things. But there's a lot of material to cut up. Well, a lot of strips, and the cutting directions were not that clear. So I hope I've got them cut properly. But again, I'm taking that class so I can learn the basics of things, even though I have a feeling I've gone beyond the basics, but it doesn't hurt. So 3 of them this week coming up. So busy, busy, busy. And let's see, today, the reason, of course, you know that we came on an hour later is because I had my monthly art journaling class. And that ended at about 4. Actually, we ended a little bit early. I was getting a little pissed off with these classes because I have a core of ladies who come all the time. And this is the 16th class that I've taught. So I've been doing this for 2 years, basically. Hard to believe that it's been 2 years since I started these classes. And they're, well, I suppose it's not really 2. Well, yeah, we don't do it in the summer. So, yeah, it is 2 years ago. 16, there's 12 months in a year, so whatever. Popcorn's not bad.
Plus, you skipped a few months when you were on holidays.
Yeah, we skipped that. And anyways, I only had 8 signed in for this class. Max is 12. It's a very small class area in this store, and that's about all you can handle without having people sitting on top of each other.
Get 12 in there.
Well, it's tight. So I usually have to move some of her display things with paper in it. They're on wheels, and put a table down on the floor because it's kind of a raised area where the classroom is. And I stand down there.
You shouldn't be looking at there. You should be looking over there.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, okay, if I'm looking here, it all looks okay. So this is exactly what they see. All right, so, because they're far enough away.
Okay.
If I'm all the time looking like this, look.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? It looks like I'm...
Okay, never mind.
All right, whatever. Now I've lost my train of thought.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it took me right off the train. Anyways, I had some people cancel out at the last minute, and that pisses me off, okay? Why does it piss me off? because some of the times when these ladies cancel at the last minute, the store gives them a refund, and which is, I mean, it's not, it's only $20 for the class, and 5 of that goes to the store owner, and the rest of it goes to me. And I don't do it for the money anyways. It just covers the supplies and things that I bring and give to them. But what pisses me off is I had to prep for it. So I'm prepping for the people I know that are coming, and a few extra usually, and then they back out at the last minute. Now, sometimes there's legitimate reasons for backing out, okay? Things that you can't help. Like, for example, one of the ladies that is a regular but canceled is because her mother is actually dying. I think that's a good excuse for not coming to the class, okay? I forgive her for that. I mean, that's a horrendous thing. But then some of them, it's like, oh, well, you know, it's the nice weather out.
It's a nice day today.
Or then you get the ones, oh, I kind of forgot. Well, screw you. Write it down. Like, you get an email reminder as well. Goes out at the first of the week before the class
I suppose
starts.
they do that with doctor's appointments too.
Probably. So anyways, it pisses me off. But I thought, well, maybe it's run its course, you know? We've had 16 classes. Maybe people are getting bored with it, want to move on to other things. And we do different things in each of the classes. I teach them different techniques and things like that. So I thought, let's put it out there. Let's ask them. Is it worth the effort? I mean, we don't meet again until September because we're off on July and August. We don't bother because people, you know, it's nice weather, so people are out and about traveling and going to the cottages and, you know, whatever. And no, they all said, oh, no, we don't want to cancel them. We love coming to the classes. And they're all talking about how much they like the group. Well, they are a nice group of ladies that come, the core of them that come. And they all get along really well with each other, and we have a good time. So we talked about some ideas to, you know, things I wanted to do to freshen it up a little bit and whatnot. And they came up with a couple of suggestions as well that I thought were pretty good. So I said, okay, I'll compile a list of ideas, a tentative sort of schedule for the next 6 months or whatever of what we might do. Like in some cases, they want to do a challenge. Like we've done a challenge before, and they like that competitiveness of that. Some of them said what we'd like to is just to come and work on our projects and not worry about, you know, any new techniques and stuff like that. And we can share what we're doing with each other. And I said, sure, I don't have any problem facilitating that either. One lady said she wouldn't mind, if, you know, if we had guests like from the group, a person show a technique they've learned and share with the group. And I thought, good, that takes the pressure off me because I'm starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel on new techniques each time. So I thought, yeah, sure, why not? Share the wealth. So they seem to be happy with that idea, and that's what they want to do. So I guess we're still doing them. I did think, you know, quit it. Don't do it anymore kind of a thing. Because I don't do it for the money. But then I got thinking, it's too easy to quit things. Like to turn around and say, oh, I can't be bothered. Like this morning when I got up, I kind of, oh, I don't know if I really feel like teaching this class. But once I'm there and doing it, it's great. And again, that goes back to things you've heard me talk about before. As you get older, it's too easy to say, oh, I don't want to do that. And then you'll end up like my mother. And we all know about my mother. And we're not going to talk much about my mother today. We talk way too much about my mother. So anyways, that was the class. What else happened now? We have a mud hole in the front of our house.
It didn't rain.
Yeah, it will. Why do we have a mud hole, you may ask? Walter, tell them why we have a mud hole.
We decided to get our driveway re-asphalted. So
Use that ass.
yeah. So they dug it. They came and dug it all up, and so we're without driveway for a couple of weeks until they come back and re-asphalt it.
Yeah, so we're going to get that done. Well, I think we're bucking under the pressure of the neighbors. There's a whole bunch of them on our street getting all their driveways redone. I mean, it's been 23 years in this house with the same driveway.
And it did sink a bit in the front.
Yeah, and
that
it was looking
very
a little.
nice. And we had a concrete put in a couple of years ago, and the guy temporarily put some interlocking brick next to the driveway, between the driveway and the concrete, and it's beginning to grow weeds and stuff like that. I didn't really like the look of it. So when I saw that the neighbors were getting theirs done, I said, well, why don't we find out how much it's going to cost to do that, because I think it would look a lot nicer.
Yeah, so we're doing that. We have the bedroom pretty much done, except that I hate the bedspread that's on it.
I still have to do the bathroom, but
Um, we haven't done the floors.
No.
Like, that's major, and then the dining room and the kitchen, or the dining room, living room. You start one thing, it goes
about
on.
doing the dining room, living room is that we have to pack everything up with it.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a pain in the butt, but
I mean, doing the actual painting's not that difficult. It's getting prepared for it.
yeah, I know. Well, we need to go through the china cabinet anyways. There's a lot of stuff in there that just dust collectors we need to get rid of. But anyways, it just keeps on. Oh, Elaine says, I'm not new, but I've never commented before. I'm Elaine from Maryland in the U.S. Please accept my apology for the U.S. President's actions yesterday while visiting your country.
Oh, wow.
What did you do yesterday?
I can't remember. I guess he sort of called Justin kind of mousy, and then
He called Justin Mousy?
and then Justin made a final remarks or whatever.
Did it start with F?
No, final remarks or whatever, and was fairly firm, and then Trump turned around and sort of said that he was being what do you call it? He was so nice during the conference, and then he became mean again or something.
Oh, don't screw with Canadians, Trump. Even if we are now the 51st state, our province now, since we've just elected our own Trump, we'll come to that in a minute. Well, he doesn't want. He wants to be careful. Justin speaks softly but carries a big stick, to use an American expression, with it. So, yeah. Oh, he's such an idiot, Trump. But anyways, we have our own idiot now in power. And what's going on here? What's happening? Go back here. Go up here. Okay. So anyways, we have the mud hole. What else is going on? Let's see. Well, let's talk about the election. So I don't know how much the Americans, our American friends on here, would really follow our election as a provincial election. I mean, we don't follow your state elections, so why would you follow our provincial elections? Same diff. But of course, you heard us talk last week in that about this a-hole, Doug Ford, who is the leader of the Progressive Conservative Party, which is
sort of the equivalent
of
the
the
Republican
Republicans.
Party, yeah.
Yeah. And he's pretty much mini Trump as well. And our biggest fear was that he would get in with a majority government. And he did, because we have a lot of stupid people in Ontario. So I am now going to make a public apology to all the American watchers of Stephen and Walter Live. I am sorry. We are not superior to you. We're on in the same boat. We've got the same kind of a-hole as you've got as a president. Same thing, cut from the same cloth. So we're now an embarrassment as well.
So, yeah, and his brother was the mayor of Toronto a few years ago that made public that the Americans got to know.
Yep. Hi, Nairi.
Rob Ford.
Yep. And Anita says you were screwed just as we are. Exactly, Anita. And Eileen says, is it Eileen or Eileen? I'm not sure which way to pronounce that. I followed your election and was astounded that Ford won. Actually, we weren't surprised because we have a lot of the farmers support the Conservatives no matter what, which is kind of ironic because they've been screwed around by them. But one of the problems that happened was that our Liberal government, the other side, they're kind of like the Democrats in the States, have been in power for 15 years. And basically people were fed up with them. They wanted to change. But the problem is the change would mean if you didn't want the Progressive Conservatives, you would have to elect a third party, which is the NDP, New Democratic Party.
Which is sort of like the Liberal Party, only a lot more socialistic.
They're much more for unions and things like that, which I don't have a problem with. But they also have some... They
want to pay for everything
out of public funds, out of it, and there's just not enough money to go around for that. Well, there will be, but we'll all be on the poverty line because we'll have to, give 3/4 of our paycheck over to them. So, And they've only been in power once before in the history of our province. And I mean the history of our province since the beginning of our province, which basically was Upper Canada. Or were we Lower Canada? No, we're Upper Canada. Yeah, Upper Canada, back in before Confederation, which was 1867. There's a history lesson, Canadian history lesson for you, okay? So, and that last guy who got in like that from the NDP, he screwed us all over. So people were wary about that. Didn't help that the leader of the Liberal Party, Kathleen Wynne, basically admitted that they were not going to win. They're going to lose.
Before the election happened.
Before the election happened. So all of those Liberal candidates, all those people running for her party, all of her volunteers and everything that were helping out with it, what a way to make them feel like, well, crap, we might as well kill ourselves now. So they don't even have official party status anymore. They needed to get 8 seats in the government in order to maintain official status as a political party. They only got 6
I
seats.
thought they got 7.
Was it 7? It kept
Yeah.
flowing between 6 and
That
7.
was 7.
But so now they have to find a new leader for their party. So it's in a big rigmarole.
Mess.
Yeah. The Progressive Conservatives got a majority government. So as long as all of them vote party lines on everything, the Progressive Conservatives can do whatever they want because the opposition is the NDP, but they don't have enough votes.
And they don't have any power. They can
Yeah.
complain as much as they like, but they're not going to get anywhere with it.
So basically, it's very much the same as the Democrats and the Republicans in the United States.
We'll just have to see how it goes. He may not be as bad as last time we had a progressive conservative government. There was a lot of turmoil for several years.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Let's just see what people are saying here.
It's not like we can move to the States.
No. Yeah. Maybe we should build a wall around Ford. That would be. It's ironic, too, that his last name is Ford. When you think about the significance of Ford, as in Henry Ford, in the United States, and the car industry, and the whole bit, and, you know, the modern assembly line method of doing manufacturing, that was Ford. And I don't know, there's just too many parallels here with it all. Well, one good thing, though, is if Justin ever gets it passed and they legalize marijuana sales here, this Ford will know a lot about drugs because he's basically...
He used to be a drug dealer.
He used to be a drug dealer, too. So, yeah, we're just losing on all sides on this one. Brenda says, good, bad, or indifferent, we need to stand behind our president. The USA is so divided as a country. You know, Brenda, I don't think you do need to stand behind your president because your president has been alienating the world with his tariffs. And he's alienating some big timers out there. You think about the number of products you have coming into the United States that are China made, or how many industries or manufacturers or companies in the United States actually get their stuff made in China. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt you. And if it hurts you, it's going to hurt us too, because we're too tied in with you.
Yeah.
And now your president is the one who decided on creating a trade war. And I don't think anybody's going to win in that one. And I do not think the Americans or Trump is going to win the trade war because he's up against the other G7s. And, well,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Because you don't know exactly how much of it's going to actually happen or if it's a bluffing type move or what. I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. No one can tell because you don't know what they're going to do next day.
You
These
know
leaders are
what they've
unpredictable.
said now,
Yeah.
but you don't really know what's in the back of their head as to what their hidden agenda is. And that's the same thing with our PC government. They always have these hidden agendas
Yeah.
compared to what they tell the public. So.
Well, I still wonder who's really behind all of this because I don't believe that these people, whether it's Trump, Doug Ford, Kathleen Wynne, any of the other ones, I don't believe that they as a single person have that much power. I think there's somebody else pulling the strings behind them, and it's probably big business. In our country, the banks have a lot of power. Money talks. And these people are not independent from them. They're being manipulated in some way, but we will never know what that is. Of course, now I sound like a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, who
So
knows?
whatever.
I just sort of say, well, we've got this PC government now. We'll have to make the most of it.
Yeah. Now Anita, she's got an optimistic attitude, though. She says there has to be something you consider admirable about whoever that person is. No, can't say as I do. Not with Ford or Trump, but whatever.
I mean, there was another person that could have led that party. It was a woman, Christine Elliott.
Yeah.
And actually, I might have even voted PC for her.
Yeah, because she's smart.
She's smart, and she's been in politics for a long time. And even though this guy won, I think she would have won with even a bigger majority.
Oh yeah, I think she would have. I mean, I have to admit that the Liberals, their time had come. But, in it, like Walter said, if this other woman had been put as the leader of the party, I think I would have been tempted to vote PC as well. So, but they didn't do that. Because they're an old boys club, for one thing, and they don't want a woman in power. And they've always been that way with that party. So, again, sound very much like the Republicans, don't they? So, I think they're cut from the same cloth. Nairi says it's a public holiday in Australia, Queen's birthday, although her birthday is actually in April. Go figure. Yeah, well, Queen's birthday for us is May the 24th. So we've had that already. And,
But that was Victoria Day for us.
yeah, well, that's the Queen's birthday. That's the Queen.
Yeah, but
That's the one that we do the
okay.
birthday for. I'm not sure in Australia whether they probably, theirs is probably Victoria too. Victoria was, she's egotistical, but I don't know. It's Eileen. She says, and she's kind of funny here. She says, Eileen, Steve, but it doesn't matter. Just call me for dinner. Okay, you're on. Anita says, Andrea says, how can I stand behind a president who doesn't stand behind me? He doesn't even want people like me to succeed, let alone live here. And my family has lived here in the U.S. longer than his family. Yeah, I know. And that's the way Doug Ford is, too. I mean, if the Muslims that we have living in our province that are Canadian citizens that think they're going to get a better deal with Doug Ford, no. He's a racist as well. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. Kat says, could we move on to another discussion? Yeah, we probably should. Yeah. Oh, Nairi says it's Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, so, but ours is based on Victoria.
Yeah,
so.
which is, her birthday is actually May 24th, which is May 24th weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Because I looked that up, remember?
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's why I thought when she said it was Queen's birthday, maybe it was like Queen Elizabeth's birthday.
Yeah, okay. I get it. Fine. Some queen. Some old queen. Okay. So, what do you want to talk about now? What's eating Walter? Did you have anything eating you this week?
I had thought of something earlier, but I forgot about it.
Well, what eats me is every week you forget what's eating you. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's never anything really big that's eating me. What I did notice, which was sort of eating me, not really eating me, is that I've noticed that, you go to, like, there's a big store called Fabricland. I don't know if they have them in the United States or not, but that sells fabric, right? Right? Mm-hmm. But you've noticed that this other smaller place that you go to, Ultimate Sewing, which is a privately owned store, has better quality products for less price.
Yeah.
Right? And then I noticed I wanted to get some more deck stain for our deck. And it's sort of a specialty product, so I had to look around for a store that had it. And I went to that store to buy it, and I noticed on their counter they had masking tape. And masking tape is not, or not masking tape, it was painter's tape. And I had looked at Home Depot a couple of weeks ago at painter's tape because I know I've got some painting projects here to do. And they're charging quite a bit for a roll of painter's tape right now. And this store, which is a privately owned store, had it for like half the price. So why is it these little stores can afford to little private stores like the Ultimate Sewing and the thing can afford to charge much less for products than big box stores.
Well, I think big box stores get the volume of sales, and I think people go to the big box stores first because they don't think of the little mom and pop stores.
Yeah.
And also, when you think of the little mom and pop stores, you think, oh, well, their prices are going to be higher because they don't do the volume of sales. And I think that's what these box stores are counting on. And plus it's one-stop shopping.
Mm-hmm.
The mom and pop store may only have one brand of painter's tape, whereas Home Depot might have four or something like that. And while they're there, they might pick up the drop cloths and the paint and all the other stuff.
Well, yeah, they might have the paint on sale, and then you need to pick up all the other stuff that isn't on sale.
So you won't go
overpriced.
bothered. So you don't feel like going to another store and go,
Right.
well, I'll just get it. So what? It's only going to be $1 more or something like that. I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
With all of that. And Nairi says, you would think it would be the other way around. Same brand. Yeah, same brand.
Same brand.
Yeah, for example, at the Ultimate Sewing store, their fabric, their cotton that you use in quilting, is $14 a meter. You go to Fabricland, and it starts at about $22 a meter, and it's not as good a quality. And in fact, there's a way you can tell the quality of, we found out, of
I think you
fabric.
might have said that.
Did I talk about the
Yeah.
little dots on it? Yeah, I think we did discuss that and everything. Well, if you look at the ones at this Fabricland, they're like Michaels. They're the Michaels of fabric. They always have a 50% off sale happening. And they're still making lots of money, just like Michaels does with the coupons. That's how they get you in. And now that I know this, well, since I've been dealing with Ultimate Sewing, I can tell the difference between what quality of material. And so, yeah. And I think with... you got to know your prices.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow a little bit more detail, but there's a website, saw it on a YouTube channel last night. It's called Wish.com. And it's a company that sells all kinds of electronics and clothing and household items and as seen on TV products and things like that for ridiculously low prices. Like they advertise that it's 60 to 95% off. Now, the thing is, if you look at the stuff, it looks like it's an original manufacturer, but I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure that
Chinese
it's
knockoffs.
knockoffs and that. And I'll soon find out, I ordered a watch for free. They have all these freebie things. You just pay shipping. So I saw this watch, and it said it was free. So I clicked on it, and shipping was 65 cents Canadian. And it's a legitimate site. You sign up on it, but you don't have to give them any kind of credit card information if you don't want to. They had a PayPal button. I went through PayPal. I always go through PayPal. And I did see some of the reviews, and they said this company's really fast at getting the products out to you. But who knows what the quality's like. But, I mean, it cost me 65 cents.
So
So
we did watch some guy do a review on stuff that they did
Yeah.
on there, and it turns out that a lot of the stuff that he ordered were as seen on TV type things, and they were kind of knockoffs. They weren't
Yeah.
really like the same.
they weren't quite the same. So, no, but it's kind of interesting to look through their things. And you can find all kinds of videos on YouTube talking where people do comparisons between
So,
these
I'd
products
just
and things.
be careful about. Just know what you're getting into when you're ordering stuff from them.
Yeah, Eileen says, I discovered Wish just recently, also from a crafter on YouTube. Waiting for my first order to arrive. I'll let you know the quality. Okay, and Irie says, I know knockoffs are everywhere. If the price is really cheap, but the product usually is poor quality. Yeah. Maria says, Wish is good, but expensive for postage. Yeah, I guess it depends where you are. Like I said, this watch that I'm getting is costing me 65 cents for shipping. So I don't know. I'm not expecting this watch to be anything too good. But I thought I'd give it a try. Precy's here. And just let me see. I forgot Precy's name. I should remember. Oh, Precy. She says, Wish equals Chinese doll clothes for women that don't fit. Yeah. And then
I wish it was good quality.
yeah, really. Yeah, I wish it was good quality. Julie says they're like AliExpress, but on Wish you mostly pay postage, where on Ali it's usually free shipping. Okay. Well, anyways, it's just something new. Thought I'd try it out. I'm not going to be ordering a lot of things from them, I don't think. I looked through the art supplies and that. They have fabric too, but I imagine the fabric's really crappy. It looks nice in the pictures, but everything looks nice in the pictures. So, anyways, that was kind of something new that we discovered. So, what are we watching on TV? Well, I just discovered a series called The Royal House of Windsor, which is all about the Queen's family, and it goes back to Victoria. Actually, Victoria, Edward the Seventh. It was Edward the Seventh, wasn't it? That came to throne after Victoria. But it talks about how they changed the name from Saxe something Goth, or whatever. There's another name in there, Colburn, something like that, which was German, because the royal family all have German roots. Queen Victoria, Prince Albert was German, and Queen Victoria was also German descent. And in fact, Queen Victoria was the first cousin to the Tsar, Nicholas II. And of course, there was all that inbreeding in them anyways. But I guess during the First World War, Germans, of course, were not very well liked by the British. And so they kind of decided that they should change the name of the royal family. So they became the House of Windsor. Because of the connection with Germany and the whole bit, and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting that we're up to up to the time of Diana. Now is where I left off. So I kind of like those kind of shows, though, because I'm kind of into the royalty to a certain extent. So that's what I'm watching. What are you watching on TV? Because
Slum Landlords.
Oh yeah, Slum Landlords. Tell us about Slum Landlords.
It's on Netflix. It's a British show where they show people that are tenants of buildings or of privately sublet not sublet, privately rented apartments and that, and they are not paying rent, and the owners want to get them out, type of thing. And or the other way around, that there's these slum landlords that have like these houses that they're creating multiple occupancy, for immigrants and stuff like that. They have one room and they have 4 people staying in a room, type of thing. It's kind of interesting because you can see the slum landlords the houses are really crappy inside. And I mean, how much is it true or fake or whatever? I don't know. But and then the other thing is showing people that are getting ripped off with all these bad tenants. So, which it's kind of interesting. I kind of like that.
So that's called Slum Landlords?
Slum landlord, I don't know, something tenants and slum landlords or something like that. I can't remember.
Now, is that Netflix?
But it's British. This takes place in Britain.
Oh, okay. Oh, Nairi says she just started watching Westworld. Yeah, we love Westworld. Are you just starting it like in the first season, or have you gone into the second season? We're into the second season. And yeah, I really like it, but it's getting really complicated because they've got these timelines. At sometimes you're not sure if you're in the past,
the present,
or the present, and then some of the characters, like who's real and who's one of the created ones. And if you haven't seen Westworld, it's very hard to explain it, but it's sort of futuristic, but not that far. It's a giant amusement park, basically for adults. And they have hosts, and the hosts are robots, essentially, but they look like humans. And they're programmed to have human emotions and everything like that, but they're now going beyond their programming. And they're starting to take over and all kinds of things in there. So it's a good show. It's pretty well done. Nairi says she's 2 episodes into the first season. Okay, it gets even better, Nairi. If you like the first 2 episodes, you're going to love the ones that come after it. And even the second season's even better than the first season, I think. What are you doing?
I'm pouring stuff all over the place that shouldn't be poured at.
Oh, Walter can't handle his booze. He's out there pouring it all over the place.
It's fizzing up where I'm not.
Brenda says she watches a lot of royal documentaries from BBC on YouTube. I love BBC. I really do. As a station, they always have great shows on BBC. And I watch a lot of stuff.
On Netflix.
Yeah, I'm watching on Netflix, but it's BBC production. But I do. I always like BBC's documentaries. And Anita says she reads a lot more than she watches TV. I read too. So, in fact, what am I reading right now? The third book in that series, the ones that I told you about in the future, the cities are on giant tractors kind of a thing, and they roam around the world and they destroy smaller cities called Mortal Engines. There's a movie coming out in the fall, I think, about it. That's how I got hooked into the books. But there's 4 in the series. I'm on the 3rd one, and I quite like them. And it's a British series, or the books are written by a British author, actually. So it's pretty good. If you like that kind of thing, it's science fiction and almost steampunky in some ways, if you know what that is. Let's see. Brenda says Anthony will be missed, and I'm assuming you're referring to Anthony Bourdain, who just...
Yeah.
Yeah, Bourdain or Bourdain?
I'm not sure.
Whatever. The cook,
Bourdain.
but that just commits suicide kind of thing. Nairi says, we have Stan in Australia too. There's a couple of good series based around Henry VIII's time, The White Queen and the White Princess, based on Phillips Gregory books. Oh, that might be interesting. I'd kind of like that kind of thing. I like historical kind of stuff.
We like a lot of Australian productions too, so.
And of course, we talked last week. We're still watching 13 Reasons Why, the second season of it. Again, Netflix. You know, really, if you have Netflix, you almost don't need regular television for that. Plus, a lot of the times you can binge watch on Netflix because they'll have all of the episodes for a season there. I just saw something go click on.
I was watching another one on Netflix a little while ago called Safe, I think it's called.
Safe.
And it's sort of like a murder mystery type thing.
Oh, yeah?
And it was really good. I'm not sure if it's a limited series or if it's an ongoing thing. But it sort of resolved itself at the end, so I think it's sort of like a limited series or something. But it was really good. And it had the guy in it that played in Dexter. I can't remember his name now.
But I never watched Dexter. Did you watch Dexter?
I didn't watch Dexter, but it's the same guy, and he was in 6 Feet Under. I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got into 6 Feet Under. I only watched a bit of 6 Feet Under.
Well, I didn't watch it all the way to the end. I kind of got tired of it.
Marie says, I want to watch Victoria and Abdul. Actually, that's a pretty good movie. We've seen it. And
yeah, actually, it's really good.
Yeah.
I like those sort of things, too.
Yeah, I like those, too. And it was fairly well done, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we went to the show. We saw Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2. I didn't think it was as good as the first one, although a lot of people think it's better than the first one. It's weird comedy, kind of superhero-ish. I don't know. I never followed. Well, I don't read comic books. So I have a friend, though, who knows all about this stuff. The DC or Marvel universe, whatever it is they come out of. I can't keep the superheroes straight in all these movies. Who comes from which universe, kind of a thing. But it was okay. It
was okay, but I thought the storyline was a bit disjointed.
Yeah. And he's very crude, the humor and stuff in it.
I don't know, maybe we're just becoming a couple old farts. You know, like the two guys
in the balcony? Two old guys in the balcony.
I think one of them's named Walter, too. So anyway.
Well, a figure. Now, says John, her husband, is watching 12 Monkeys. I can't get into that. Yeah, I've seen that listed, and I've never watched it. I mean, I saw the movie that it's based on, but I've never watched the series. Now, it's on Netflix, I think.
I should take a look.
It was. It's been out for a while.
Yeah.
Like, quite a while, I think. Haven't checked that one out yet. Okay, on YouTube, I've talked about this YouTube channel before called Threadbanger. And Threadbanger was sort of a home improvement place. They gutted a house. They were sponsored by Lowe's, the hardware store, the big box hardware store, and everything. But they have another sub series they call Man versus Kareen versus Pin. And they find something on Pinterest that's been pinned, and they try it. And it's usually ridiculous stuff. And they're a husband and wife team. So we watched one show where they were making what they called it, a pizza balloon.
Yeah, pizza balloon or sorry, I can't remember, or something. I'm not sure if it was pizza balloon or it was something like that.
It was like it looked
It
like
looked really stupid though,
kind of looked like a big panzerotto, like
or calzone or
calzone or something. And
Actually, what they did was they made a regular pizza, then they put dough on top of it. You shoved straws in it and blew it up like an air bubble inside. Of course, you get everybody spit inside of it.
yeah, ew.
Anyway, and then you sealed it so it had this big air bubble, and then you baked it like a pizza, and it would come out with the pizza on the bottom and this air bubble of dough on top. I have no idea why you would want to do that, but I guess
Yeah.
it was kind of stupid. Then another one they were making, there was at
Tequila or shot glasses.
taco shot glasses, which was kind of stupid as well. So
Yeah, but they are stupid. But they're kind of like that mindless form of entertainment where you don't really have to think, and they're probably good after you've had a few drinks. So, just check it out. Just look for Threadbanger. It's the name of the YouTube channel, and you'll see all these ridiculous things. They have other things on there, too. Actually, their home improvement thing was kind of interesting. I watched all of those through. And they were sort of affiliated, I think, with HGTV, but Home and Garden Television. But I'm really not sure if they still are or not. But Tracy says, Stephen, I bought a mannequin to use for sewing on Amazon. I'm not going to sew garments. Nope. Not interested in that. I mean, the clown pants are about as close as I'm going to get to anything. With that,
Halloween costumes, maybe.
Well, maybe.
I don't know. I think our dressing up days for Halloween's got over.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, Mel says. Oh, Nairi says. Speaking of food, what's for dinner? Well, last night we did a spineless chicken, is what I call it, or chicken hit by a truck. Which, Walter, what do?
Well, you can buy these chickens in the store called flattened chickens. So I looked up on YouTube how to do that. Where else are you going to find out how to do it? Well, basically what you do is you take a whole chicken and you cut the spine out of it on the outside, and then you can flatten it so it's flat. And then you can grill it on the barbecue.
Yeah, as
a whole
opposed to
chicken.
having to stick a beer can up its butt or put it on a rotisserie. Does everybody know about that? They call it beer butt chicken. You take a beer can, an empty beer can. No, it's a full
beer can.
Full beer can.
But it's not completely full. It's about 3/4 full.
Yeah, it's open. You shove it up the butt of your chicken, so it's sitting on it, like this, the way chickens sit, and you put it on the barbecue, and you barbecue it. Ghetto rotisserie, I guess, kind of
And
thing.
supposedly the beer inside the can evaporates inside the chicken. It's supposed to keep it moist.
Yeah. Well, we've tried that, and actually, you can buy little rack things that.
Will make your chicken sit upright.
Do it. It's okay. We've done a couple of them that way.
But
They're
then
all
in
right.
the grocery store a couple of years ago, I noticed you can buy these flattened chicken. Like they're all flat. Like a
Nairi
whole
calls them butterfly chicken.
Okay, they're all flat, right? So, but they're expensive. They're like double the price of a regular chicken. So I thought, I wonder how I can make one of those. So I looked it up on YouTube. So
And you're
and actually, it's not that hard. You have to just have a really good pair of shears, kitchen shears, and you can just cut along the spine on either side, and then you end up taking the spine out, and you can flatten the whole thing out. You got to press on it really hard though.
But it looks really rude. He laid
Yeah.
it out on a plate and
It's like
covered.
got these little legs.
Yeah, well, I opened up the fridge and there was this thing covered in saran wrap, spread out like, "Hello, take me."
So what I do is we have 3 burners on the grill. So what I usually do is I sear it first when it's on the grill, and then I stick it on the middle burner, but I turn the middle burner off and keep the other 2 burners on the side up, so it basically roasts inside the barbecue. and then once it's close to being done, I turn the burners back on and sear it on both sides, so that and that way it still stays nice and juicy too.
Well, you're just a grill bastard, master, aren't you? With all of that. Just looking here at comments, Mel says that she's been watching Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, we've been watching.
Yeah,
that
we've been
too.
watching it too. It's pretty good, and you know that it's written by a Canadian author, actually our foremost author in the country, Margaret Atwood. I used to teach the book to the grade 12s for years. Actually, the book's really good, and the first season was basically very much the same as how the book is, but the second season goes beyond the book. And Margaret Atwood is actually on the consultation team as well, and with it all. So, actually, I think the second season's almost better than the first season with it now, what they've done with it. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, Precy says spatchcocked chicken. That must be what another term
maybe.
for it. Yes, I don't know. I've never heard that one. Or are you just making that up, Precy? Brenda says, why don't you design your own pattern and make your bedspread? Already ahead of you. I've got Electric Quilt 8, and I've been learning it, and that's what I intend to do, is design it through Electric Quilt 8. And Anita says, sounds great, Walter. Your chicken.
Yeah, but tonight we're having sous vide steak.
Sous vide steak. In other words, boil in a bag. Meat. Which you've heard us talk about the sous vide before, and it always turns out. And Nairi, you and your husband, you were doing some sous vide cooking too, weren't you? And how are you liking that? Nairi's reading Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood. Oh, Alias Grace is really good. And they did make a series of that too, and we watched it a year ago.
And it's carried on Netflix here, but I don't know if it's on Netflix in Australia.
And I don't know if they were going to have a second season. I can't remember how it ended.
Oh.
If they left it so that they could add to it, just like it. Yeah, Margaret Atwood's doing pretty well with her books coming out as movies now. Mal says, first season just started here, now waiting for the fourth part. Okay. Brenda says, I know you can do it. I have faith. Yeah, about the quilting, yeah. And Anise says, well, that sounds good too. I'm not sure what sounds good. I've lost the thread here. Maybe the chicken? Maybe the quilt?
Well,
Maybe
I'm cooking the steak sous vide, but I'm going to finish it on the grill.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay. But sous vide, yeah. And what did you put in with it? Did you put garlic and butter?
I put in garlic, butter, some pepper, and some coarse salt.
Yeah. It's sitting over in a corner cooking away. Brenda says, and Walter needs to get the box dinners. He could put his own spin on it. The box dinners. No, maybe I should back up here. Nairi says, we love sous vide cooking. We do steaks, usually Texas T-bones, pork medallions. We've done a small roast beef too. We haven't tried a roast beef in it, have we?
We haven't tried
No, we
roast
haven't
beef.
tried that.
No, we tried prime rib.
Oh, prime rib. Yeah, we did a prime rib in it once. And so Walter needs to get the box dinners. He could put his own spin on it. Okay, Brenda, I don't know what that means. And Anita says, I'm reading I Feel Bad About My Neck by Nora Ephron. I haven't heard of that one. Prissy says, do they have box dinners in Canada?
We've never really heard that term.
No, I'm not sure. Like, the only thing I'm thinking of, and I don't think this is what you're referring to, are what we used to call TV dinners, which
No,
are
that's not.
frozen things on a tray that you don't know what they are, kind of a thing. But I don't know what box dinners are, so that's something new. Do tell. Inquiring minds want to know, what's a box dinner? So, what else? We got 5. Okay, well, what's coming up? This weekend we're going into the city, to Toronto. When I say going to the city, we mean Toronto. Because we've been invited to have dinner with some good friends of ours that we see usually once a year, maybe twice a year.
Twice a year.
Usually twice a year. One time at their place in Toronto,
We've known them for,
35 years.
yeah.
We met them at the same time you and I met, pretty much.
Yeah.
So basically, they've been together as long as we have.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe longer.
yeah. They're a little older than us. Not much. So it's always good. So we're going there for dinner and we're staying overnight because usually there's a fair amount of wine involved. And then we'll have them out here at some point in time again. And Tracy says a full 4-piece dinner raw with all ingredients in a box. You cook it. Oh, there are services they advertise here that do this. We have never bothered with it because I think they're actually kind of pricey. But I've seen them advertising on TV for that kind of thing. I forget what those companies are called, what they do, but they just don't refer to them as boxed dinners, I don't think. It's the first time I've heard that term.
Actually, I've never. It's not that popular here if we have it. So
no. And Brenda says you can order fresh meat and veg box instructions on how to cook it. Okay. Oh, get it for my mother. Oh, no. There was one problem. She'd have to cook it, and that's not going to happen. So, Brenda says, but would be a hoot. Okay. I think your spell checker is doing things to you, Brenda. Either that or you're drinking. But would be a hoot for Walter Cook.
I cook all the time.
He cooks all the time. Anita says, sounds like Blue Apron here, but our Krugers have started having fresh meal kits. I am assuming a Krugers or
That's a grocery store.
It's a grocery store.
It's a grocery store in the
Yeah.
States, I think.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that's what it sounds like. So, boy, so many different things. Hard to keep up with all of this. And Brent says, to have Walter put his spin on it. Oh, okay. So I see if you got the stuff in the box and then see what Walter does with it. He's not that good a cook.
I'm not that creative. I'm sort of like steak, meat, potatoes thing. I mean, I made macaroni and cheese out of macaroni salad the other.
Well, okay. I made the macaroni salad. Okay, it was called the endless macaroni salad
We
because
made this big
I
bowl.
always do because macaroni is deceiving. It's
Yeah.
you put in, you look, well, that doesn't look like enough, so I put in a little bit more, and before I'm done, I've got like half to 3/4 of the bag in the pot boiling. Then I mix it all up, and it's in a big bowl like this, and it lasts us a whole summer because macaroni salad never seems to go
And there
bad.
wasn't very much dressing in it, so one day I thought, well, let's just put some extra cheese in it and heat it up and make macaroni and cheese.
It was kind of like macaroni and cheese that he made. Well, you made macaroni and cheese in the hot pot too,
Yeah.
and that turned out really good. Like
Yeah.
out of it all, and it was faster.
Instant Pot.
Yeah, the Instapot, whatever it's called. Hot pot, Instapot, your pot, my pot, smoke the pot, whatever. So, and we still have
Well,
some
that
of
was that was real easy. You just dump the microwave, or not microwave, the macaroni in the pot with the liquid. You turned it on for 5 minutes. It cooked the macaroni, soaked up all the liquid, and you threw cheese in it with it, and that's what you got. You got macaroni and cheese.
And it tasted the
And
same
it tasted
as
really good.
baked macaroni and cheese. Which, what kind of cheese did you throw in? You made a cheese sauce?
Well, no, it said to put. I looked it up on the internet. It was a recipe on the internet. Instant Pot macaroni and cheese. So I cooked the macaroni in chicken stock, right? And I think I had some onions and some other stuff in it. And then it just said to throw the macaroni in and put the Instapot on 5 minutes. So I did that. And then you had a mixture of mozzarella, cheddar cheese, and Parmesan cheese.
Ooh, 3-cheese macaroni.
Yeah.
Baked macaroni.
And
oh.
you just dumped it all in after it was done and stirred it around and added a little bit of milk.
Well,
make it
it was
creamy.
pretty good. Actually, he's been cooking a lot since he retired, which I don't mind. I mean, I like to cook, but actually the hardest part about cooking or making dinner is figuring out what you're going to have for dinner.
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing. And after a while, it all runs together. Pasta is so easy to do different things with, but, pasta is not,
Yeah, I
you
don't
shouldn't
eat
eat that much
pasta
pasta.
every night, so-
No. Well, I could, but you shouldn't. And Brenda says, well, I guess you better get back down in the basement. Laugh out loud. And Anita says, I have Tom Cook. Large quantity. Oh, I think it slipped in an extra letter. I have to cook large quantities for my husband so he can take his lunch to work.
Mm.
And Nairi says, there's a challenge for Walter. One new recipe each week and share the recipe with us. You really?
The problem is I don't usually cook by a recipe. I just sort of like,
No, he doesn't usually cook.
and I usually don't follow recipes either. I get a recipe and it's my base, and then I start throwing other stuff in with it.
Cooking with Wally. Yeah, really. What was it that you were making the other day? There was something. Now I forget what it was. You made something, but you died. Oh no! It was last night. You made that rice. That you chopped up the celery and the onions and whatever, and then put.
Then we had some mushrooms that were frozen in the bottom of the fridge.
Yeah, we're having a little problem with our fridge. Things in the bottom of our fridge seem to be freezing. Like our green pepper comes out, like you drop it on the floor, it'll shatter.
Yeah, so then I used the frozen mushrooms and put them in with the rice, and
And we
it's
still have that
supposedly
rice.
nasi goreng, which is Dutch or Indonesian or whatever, but I just have a packet of spice mix that I throw in with it. That's a Dutch spice mix.
Okay, so that's nauseous gory, or nasi gori,
Yeah.
or whatever. So what's the other one that I like that has the little noodles in it?
Bami.
Bami. Okay, that's Indonesian too, isn't it?
Yeah, but I need some of that sweet soya sauce for that.
Oh, we're out of that?
Yeah.
Oh, where do we get that? At the Dutch
Dutch
store?
store.
Oh, of course. We haven't been to the Dutch store in a bit. Oh, I know some place before I forget, which has nothing to do with this topic, where we should go on Tuesday, since we have to get out of the house because of cleanups. You remember that place I told you about over in Scarborough, that John Bead that I talked about, that had all the beads and everything and all that craft stuff? Yeah, I told you about it. Was at from the last art journaling class the girls were talking about. It's where she got the punchinella.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And that we looked it up and everything. Well, I forgot all about it. I wouldn't mind going to that, just to see what the kind of things they have there. Anita says, Nairi says, must go now, my friends. It's breakfast time. Oh, yes. Have a lovely day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Okay, Nairi, we'll see you next week. And Anita says, if it ever quits raining here in Ohio, we could grill out. Oh, you're having a lot of rain, are you? Actually, we've been having.
We haven't had any rain for a little bit.
No,
One's beginning to go brown.
Yay, pave it. That's the way I look at it. So, anyways, we don't have anything else coming up on the weekend. In 2 weekends' time, we're going to be on a boat celebrating Christmas in June in a place north of us. We have friends that have a huge boat, and they've invited us up for the weekend in this place called Aurelia. And I guess that these people who boat, these boat people, every year they all get together and they have this big party called Christmas in June, and I guess they decorate their boats like it's Christmas time. And apparently the theme this year is something to do with martinis. So we're supposed to list our favorite martinis, and I guess at the clubhouse or whatever they have, the club, they have all these martinis and things like that. It could be a very drunk weekend with it. So
Yeah, well, last time we went up there, we ended up cooking dinner because they were too inebriated to cook dinner.
yeah, so we cooked it instead. Yeah, it was something else. So I have to watch that. Kathy says, I would like to find some punchinella for my scrapbooking and for when I actually begin my art journaling. Well, apparently this place, but it's here, you can buy it in huge rolls for like $3. One of the women in my class brought in this huge roll of it, and she says, take whatever you want. She says it was like $3. So I'll tell you what, Kathy, if I go there and I buy some of this stuff, I'll cut off a bunch of it for you. You can send me your address by email and I'll mail it to you. Because I don't know where you get it either. Because I've looked in fabric stores and that, and actually when I ask people for punchinella, they look at me funny, and I said, well, it's sequin waste. What they punch sequins out of, it's the leftover. And they still all look at me like, okay, you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. But it does exist. And Brenda says, just another way to spend money. Yeah, Can't take it with you. Might as well spend it. So I don't know. Anything else to tell people? I don't think so.
No,
I think that's probably about it. Since they won't let us talk about Trump and Doug Ford anymore. So wow. But we could talk about them for days. And I've been very good. I only mentioned my mother once, twice now. Okay, so I'm not going to say anything more there whatsoever. Okay, so I think we should let everybody go because this is later tonight than usual. Next week we should be on at our usual time, 4 o'clock. Check out my vlog tomorrow. I've got the new series now, What's in My Drawers. So you may all want to check that out. Or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, what are you giving a face for? Well, yeah.
what's in your drawers?
What's in my drawers?
Not much.
How do you spell a-hole? W-A-L-T-E-R. Anyways, on that note, people, Eileen says, do we get to see the new improved bedroom decor? Not until I get my quilt hung up in there. Then you will. So Mel says bye. Anita says, nice to see you. Nice to see you guys, everybody. Have enjoy what's left of today. And we'll talk to you all next week. So bye-bye for now.
See ya. Bye.
I have to figure out how to turn this off.